43 to 44, when Allah showed them to you in your dream as a few, is speaking about the events before the Battle of Badr. When Allah showed them to you, you are Muslims, in your dream as few. Sorry, the enemy showed the enemy to you as few. And if he had shown them to you as many, you would have failed, and you would have disagreed amongst each other regarding this issue. However, Allah wished to protect you from that. Certainly, Allah knows what is in the hearts. So, one of the many blessings, one of the many aids that came to the Muslims in the Battle of Badr, one of them was this, that Allah gave them the confidence that they can overcome them. When they looked at the enemy on the battlefield, they saw that they're not too many. We can take them. Yeah? Because, this is one of the key requirements for success. If you listen to these motivational speakers, one of the key requirements is believe in yourself, is what they always say. Believe in yourself. And it's true. Because if you think that I can't do this thing A or B or whatever, see, then you already failed. Because you're not going to go about it seriously, you're sort of going to do it half-heartedly, or you're never even going to get started, you're not going to make progress. You're already, in your mind, you have lost. And when you have lost in your mind, you're going to lose in reality. So Allah gave this blessing to the Muslims, and when they looked at the enemy, said, no, these are not many. We can take them. We can win this enemy. Yeah? And another help was given as well to them, which was the same was given to the enemies. Allah then says, and then when He showed you to them, when you met them, in their eyes as few, and made you seem as few in their eyes, so that Allah will judge in this issue, so Allah will sort of bring about that which He has decreed in this issue, that He wanted to see that it should be done, and to Allah return all the affairs. So, for the enemy as well, Allah made the Muslims seem as few. Why? Because He wanted them to become arrogant. He wanted them to become overconfident, to think that we will destroy them easily. And in this way, they would not flee the battlefield, they would fight, and the Muslims would be victorious, and it would be a decisive victory, which would be, of course, the historical turning point where the Muslims realized that they can overcome their enemies. The psychological victory of Badr was very important. Yeah? So this also teaches us that while you should believe in yourself, do not give in to foolish pride, where you become overconfident. Oh, this is so easy, I can do this, no problem. Because then also, you will not go about planning it for it properly, you will not sort of think of contingencies for failures and so on and so forth. So a balance is required for the Muslims in both things. Yeah? And the important lesson here is that, as we said, believing in yourself, how many men there have been, how many individuals there have been in history who have become great leaders, great historical figures, important vehicles of change, because they did those things which others said was impossible. Others said, this cannot be done. And they went and they did it. And they moved nations and they changed history by doing that. Yeah? And in fact, those who are in power, they always rely on this sort of apathy and lack of confidence in their opponents and in the people in check, the masses. Yeah? That the masses, the people should always think that we cannot affect any change. We are incapable of, confronting those in power, and incapable of bringing about any meaningful difference in our society. And I'm not talking just about tyrants and dictators, even in democratic or so-called democratic societies as well. But even in a democratic country, it's usually a small political elite that is deciding most of these issues. Yeah, and they rely on that the general population of the public, that they will think that, oh, we cannot make any difference in this society. Oh, I just have one vote. What difference can my vote make, isn't it? I better vote for this party because it's the lesser of the two evils, or so on and so on. And this is what the political elite are relying on. Yeah? Okay, so if we want to make a difference, how do we go about making a difference in society? We will be mentioning 5 points, inshallah. The first point is to build strong cooperation. Yeah? So if I am a community within my nation or larger community, I want to make a difference, I should identify others who are also working towards such goals, and then build cooperation with them, build a network, and in this way help each other to achieve that shared goal. Actually, this is also the primary focus of the political elite, to not allow this to happen. That they will always seek to divide people into small groups and play them against each other, stop them from cooperating with each other, because they don't want the status quo to change, is it? Yeah? So we'll say this is Shia, that is Sunni, this is this sect and that sect, and this is this. These are Afghans and those are Iraqis and these are Iranians and Pakistanis, and divide them according to ethnic lines or sectarian lines or tribal lines or economic, and so on, and divide them into small groups which they can then play against each other, and in that way no one will be there to challenge their rule and authority. Secondly, is to support each other's initiatives and businesses. Yeah? So if others, for example, in a Muslim community, there are others who have a business, they have a program, I as a Muslim should support that. If I need to buy something and there's a Muslim who has a business who sells that thing or service, whatever, go to them. And in this way, we can build our economic power, which will then, of course, help us achieve those shared goals that we have together. Thirdly, is to be ideologically driven. Yeah? That we as Muslims should have values, should have things that we believe in, and that these are the main driver for us. They are the goal, they are the sort of target to which we are working. In other words, worldly goals should never supersede the religious goals that we have. Yeah? So, because I want to achieve thing X should not mean that now I compromise my religious values to achieve that. Yeah? Say I want to unite the Muslims. Okay? I cannot go about achieving that by acting contrary to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by not paying heed to the things which He has prohibited me from doing. Yeah? I can't be like, okay, I want to unite the Muslims, and I'll be like ISIS, Daesh, and I'll kill anyone who doesn't oppose me. That'll solve the problem, right? Only those who agree with me will be left. That's not how it is. Or I want to achieve thing X. Let me, set up a casino to make money because I want. This is not, as Muslims, ideology should always be the driving force for us. Yeah? And at the same time, we should not. When we're ideologically driven, it means that we should not be afraid to speak the truth. Yeah? So, if ideology is the most important to me, that is the primary thing. I should not be afraid to speak of that. Yeah? Even if I might think that this will cause problems for me, or this will harm me. No. I need to prioritize that and rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He will help me. If Imam al-Hussein would have been quiet and afraid to speak the truth, he would never have brought about the great changes that he did. Fourthly, even though I am ideologically driven, I need to be pragmatic as well. I need to have realistic vision on how to achieve the goals that I want to achieve. So that my goal is to achieve thing X. I have to have a pragmatic plan. How will I achieve that thing? And not just say, okay, tawakkul, I make dua, Allah will help me, and I don't actually do anything. I have a goal, that I work towards that goal in pragmatic steps, that I know, okay, I can achieve this, and I can achieve that, and I can achieve that, and so on and so forth. So for example, let's say my goal is to drive away an occupying power in the Muslim lands. What do I do? Okay, I have to identify, okay, who are the other groups and movements who are also resisting that occupation, or who are willing to resist. Identify them. What do they need? How can I help them to become stronger? How can I build them up? Now that I build them up, how can I cooperate with them? How can I unite with them? And this way. In this way, I have built now the network to achieve that goal. I have had pragmatic steps that are achievable and can help me reach that shared goal that I have with those groups. Fifth and final is that do not give up. So when I want to bring about change, especially big changes, there will be failures, and there will be losses, and that's part of the process, and that's part of Allah testing us, testing our resolve in that issue. The Muslims won in Badr, but they lost in Uhud. That doesn't mean that, okay, we lost in Uhud, let's say, okay, forget this project, it's not possible, let's give up on the whole thing. No. It should increase us in determination. It should be a lesson for us. Okay, we failed here. Why did we fail? What were the issues? Let's learn from those mistakes. Let's try again with more resolve. Yeah? Istiqamah means is the basis of muqawamah. That you have to have the resolve to continue with that resistance. Otherwise, you will never bring about any meaningful change in anything. And we pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help the Muslims to achieve the lofty goals that He has asked them to achieve. اللهم صل على